Okay, what if I told you that you could literally get paid while you sleep? I'm not talking about some old, played out passive income idea. I'm talking about AI systems that are working for you 24/7. By 2026, this isn't just a fantasy anymore. It's becoming a very real, though complex reality. So in this explainer, we're going to slice right through all the hype. We'll show you the actual economic systems people are building right now to make money on autopilot. Let's get into it.
All right, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we need to understand the big idea that makes all of this possible, something called synthetic labor. Then we'll dive into the three main arenas where this is all happening. You've got generative media, algorithmic trading, and this wild new AI agent economy. And you'll definitely want to stick around to the end, because that's when we'll tie it all together with the key principles you've got to know for 2026.
Okay, first up, let's get into the massive economic shift that's powering all of this. It's a whole new way of thinking that our sources are calling synthetic labor.
So what is that exactly? Well, at its heart, it's about AI being what you'd call a force multiplier. We're not just talking about automating some boring, repetitive task here. No, this is about software agents, AI workers, really, that can take on really complex, creative, analytical, and even financial jobs. The kind of stuff that used to need a person sitting in a chair, and now they can do it around the clock.
And this right here, this is the absolute key. It's this idea of decoupling time from value. Think about it. For centuries, our whole system has been based on trading our time for money. You work an hour, you get paid for an hour. This flips that script completely. We're moving to a model where you become the architect of a system that generates value for you, 24/7, whether you're working, eating, or sleeping.
Okay, so that sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like? Let's get into our first major area, the generative media machine. We're talking about systems that can create, license, and sell digital content basically on their own.
And first up is something pretty wild, synthetic voice IP. This is a brand new model where something totally unique to you, your voice, can literally become an asset. Something you can license out, like a song or a patent, and earn royalties on. It's kind of mind-blowing. And here's how it actually works. You've got platforms like 11 Labs that have built this whole royalty system. Basically, you create a really good digital clone of your voice, and then every single time a paying customer uses your voice to generate audio, say for an audiobook or an ad, you get a cut. You're getting paid for every 1,000 characters they create.
And look, this isn't just some small-time experiment. We're talking real money here. Our sources show that as of early 2026, a platform like this has already paid out more than $5 million to its voice creators. That's not a side hustle. That's a genuine, functioning new economy.
All right, next up, let's talk about something you've probably heard of, industrial media automation. Think faceless YouTube channels. This has gone way beyond just being a weird hobby. It's now a full-blown industrialized business model, and it's all powered by a whole suite of AI tools working together.
So what creators are doing is putting together these things called growth stacks. It's basically a toolkit of different AIs that automate the entire process. You've got AI writing the scripts, AI doing the narration, AI even editing the videos and pumping out shorts. The result? One person can now run and grow multiple channels all by themselves. It's crazy. And the potential here is just massive. I mean, look at this number. The data shows that a well-run channel, one that's in a hot niche like finance or tech, can pull in up to $15,000 a month. That's from a mix of ads, affiliate deals, the whole shebang. Okay, but we have to pump the brakes for a second and get real. One source put it perfectly. Let's kill the passive income myth once and for all. None of this is effortless. The passive part only kicks in after you've put in a ton of upfront work to build the system. And the world of stock photography is a perfect example. Yeah, you can make a full-time living, but look at what it takes. We're talking years of work to build up a huge portfolio, like over 5,000 high-quality images. And you have to be smart, focusing on niches that AI can't easily replicate, like real, authentic human emotions. All right, so now let's take this whole idea of automated systems and kick it up a notch. We're heading into a much higher stakes game, the financial markets. This is our second major area, the algorithmic trading arena. So you have these trading bots that can analyze tons of data and make trades for you 24/7. But, and this is a big but, the first thing every single expert we looked at says is that these are not magic money machines. They all push for what's called a human-in-the-loop approach. That means you still need to be checking in, watching how it's doing, especially when the market gets crazy and unpredictable. And what's really interesting is that you see two totally different ways of doing this.
On one side, you have platforms like Algo's One, which are pretty much hands-off. They use sophisticated AI to read the news, figure out market sentiment, and they run on a profit-sharing model. Then, on the other side, you've got something like PieNX, which gives you a bunch of free pre-built bots, but you're the one who has to actively manage them.
Okay, this next one is where things get really futuristic. This is probably the fastest growing area of all, the AI agent economy. We're talking about building and selling specialized AI agents that are basically autonomous digital workers for other businesses.
So what if you could literally build and sell your own AI workers? And I don't mean simple little chatbots. I'm talking about using platforms like MindStudio to create genuinely sophisticated AI apps that do real, valuable jobs for a business, and then you sell access to those AIs.
And this is where the business model gets super smart. The people making the most money aren't selling a subscription to a tool. Nope. They're selling a result. It's called outcome-based pricing. So instead of a monthly fee, you charge based on the value your AI delivers. Maybe it's $50 for every qualified sales lead it finds, or a 20% cut of a late invoice it helps collect.
And the impact here is huge. It's not just theory. A recent analysis found that service businesses saw their revenue jump by an average of 32% after they started using these kinds of result-focused AI agents in their day-to-day operations.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground. Generative media, automated trading, AI agents. Now, let's pull it all together. What are the core principles, the common threads that actually lead to success with this stuff in 2026?
When you boil it all down, it really comes down to these 4 key ideas. First, quality over volume. The internet is about to be flooded with generic AI junk, so real human-centric quality is what will stand out. Second, you've got to integrate your tools. The real magic happens when you combine multiple AIs into a single powerful workflow. Third, play by the rules. Stick with ethical, regulated platforms if you want to build something that lasts. And finally, and this is a big one, know who owns what. You have to understand the IP and licensing rules for every single platform you use.
And really, it all comes down to this one quote from our research. Success is no longer determined by the ability to perform tasks, but by the ability to architect systems that perform those tasks autonomously. Think about that. The most valuable skill is no longer doing the work, it's designing the system that does the work for you.
So that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. As AI takes over more and more of the actual doing, is it possible that the most valuable human skill left is just the ability to ask the right questions?